Hello, my name is Dennis Seitzma, Dennis John Seitzma Productions, Homestead, Florida. It's September 30th, 2024. It's 1:34 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. It's a Monday, September 30th. The 1994 Astro van project is ongoing. Next segment. Okay, I have the window washer installed and have a little bit of fluid in there. I need to get some winter rated fluid because this is rated down to freezing but not lower, so I got to get some more of that. And two 10mm bolts. It's kind of fiddly getting that thing in there without knocking off either the hose or the hose mainly. It's got couple of things there. Anyway, the other thing I have to address is I got to worry about dealing with this vacuum line and figure out what to replace that with, and that goes to the reservoir. But in a little while we'll hook up the vacuum gauge and I'll show you that. But the next thing I want to do is put this in, this coolant overflow thing, and probably a good idea to dump that and clean it out. And I got to put this on too, this duct thing, duct, that just snaps on, and we'll hook up the vacuum gauge and run the engine a little more. I want to make sure I don't have any leaks. I don't want to have any leaks. Okay, it's 1:44 in the afternoon, and I have thoroughly flushed the coolant recovery reservoir. It had 30 years worth of nasty brown stuff in there, rusty. So it was really good. I gave it a thorough flush before I installed it, so that's really good. And I filled it up with new coolant. Okay, so we've got this half full of washer fluid. I got this full of coolant in the coolant recovery tank, and got this hooked up to the radiator, and didn't do the radiator cap yet. It's not leaking. So next we'll do the upper shroud, which is only 2 bolts really, 4 bolts. If it wasn't damaged it would be 4 bolts, but 2 bolts work for now, and have for years apparently. So we'll put the shroud on next, and then the air box. Well, they're using some heavy equipment across the street. Anyway, I had a major computer failure on the computer I normally use for doing the video documentaries daily, so these are going to stop anyway at some point, but pretty soon actually. But I'm able to use a different computer, so the look and feel may be a little different on the videos till I get the main computer back online. It smoked the motherboard. Motherboard is dead, gone, just nothing, just no warning or anything, just gone. Actually there's 4 bolts. Take a good close look at those bolts. GM uses tons of them, and I don't know what they're called. And I think the threads are, I don't know, I don't think that's M6, that might be M5. Now those I'm pretty sure are M6 self-tappers. Those 2 are used to hold the shroud, upper and lower shroud halves together. And these 2 are body bolts. Body bolts. And the body bolts go here where that circle is, and go here where that, and go on the back side. So there's 4 bolts, not 2, and the upper 2 bolts here hold this from wiggling. And yes, all the clamps are tight. I think so. Might have to double check that one. No, it's tight. So onward, next segment. It's 2:20 in the afternoon now on, oh, what day is it? last day of the month. Yeah, the 30th of September 2024. It's the 30th. And little tiny iguana. Iguanas love this thing. Alright, we've got the upper shroud installed, and it was two 13mm bolts. I did the top of the shroud first, finger tight only, 13mm, and then the two that hold the upper and lower shroud together in the back, also 13mm. This upper shroud is really tore up, but there's stuff holding it together, but it's really important, so I need to replace the upper and lower shroud. And yes, I have considered going with electric to save a little bit of gas, but the costs involved to convert this to electric fans is more than I can stand. So we're going to stay with a mechanical setup for this for now. In the future, who knows? Who knows? If I win the lottery, I'll put a one of those, what do they call it? Crate engines? Yeah, but probably won't ever. Thanks for watching. Next segment. Okay, it's 2:30 now, September 30th. September 30th, 2024, 2:30 in the afternoon, Homestead, Florida, USA. My name's Dennis Sietsma. We got 3 more 13mm bolts to hold the airbox onto the upper shroud. And this little thing here in the back has given me trouble in the past. It's some kind of plastic retainer, and it looks to be about 3mm, just guessing. Haven't measured it. I got some retainers for Hondas. I'm going to see what I can find, because the GM retainer always pops out, and there's a secondary retainer on the air dam for the radiator on this side, and I left the air dam off until I can work on the air conditioning, and this is still loose, so I got to work on that. But I'm going to finish putting the air filter in on the air box here, so at least this is looking finished. And then these are a couple more 13mm that hold this hood latch in place. I got to do that too. So next segment. Okay, next we'll be checking the vacuum, and this is without the engine timed to optimum yet, and I still don't have this environmental vacuum canister thing done and some of the wiring done, so still going to be a little crude. But if we look at the gauge, anything here in the green is good, normal motor. And this is a Pittsburgh. I got that at Harbor Freight, and I got the air box on, so it ought to be a little bit quieter. Doesn't look that good, does it? It says late timing. It's around a 40 reading there. Like I said, I still have to set the baseline timing electronically by disabling the PCM, disabling ECM, the computer, whatever you want to call it. That connector here, you can disconnect it, and here's where you connect it to the vacuum on the engine, straight out. So if you have any vacuum leaks, you eliminate all those for testing. But I got to set timing a little bit later today. Right now I'm still looking for leaks, and I got to do something about that oil fill to make sure it doesn't come out. And I got an air line, a vent line I gotta plumb yet. This valve rocker arm cover on the driver's side, the new one, is a little different than the old one. The old one had a PVC valve, and this one's just got a vent, and it's not removable or replaceable. It's molded right in. So I got to stick with what is modern. But for right now, Right now I'm trying to see what's happening, especially with the coolant level. Good to let it warm up just a little bit and then shut it down. Without stressing it. This is a rebuilt engine, of course. Powertrain products. So far, I'm very pleased with everything. So far. Man, it's a hot one today. But I like it hot and steamy. It's like being in a sauna bath. I love it. It was best when we had a sauna bath next to a pool. When I was a teenager, one of my friends invited me over, and we'd go in the sauna, we'd go in the pool, we'd go in the sauna, we'd go back and forth. Oh, it was really nice. Those were the days, my friend. Let's see what the fuel pressure is. It's around a little over 55. If it's under 55, you're in trouble. This is a 1992 to 1995 CPI, central port injection. All 6 fire at the same time. Later, they replaced it with sequential, where one poppet goes at a time. There's a lot different wiring. Okay, it's just starting to warm up a little bit. I see the temperature just coming up just a little bit on the gauge. Okay, that's enough for now. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. I want to be real nice to this engine, real nice, because I need it to be in service for a long time, and I can't afford a new vehicle. I just can't. I got too many other things going on. So, audience, thank you for watching Dennis Seatsma, Dennis John Seatsma Productions. This is a documentary, not a how-to. Do-it-yourself work can be dangerous. Couldn't result in death or injury. And I'm at a benefit because I've worked on this thing for 30 years. Just about every part of it I've had a part together at least once. Some things several times. But I just want to take it real easy and keep an eye and go over everything real slow. I don't want to be in a hurry and cause myself more trouble and breaking things. But I'm finding all my lost Easter eggs as I go through the van and pick up parts. I'm finding some tools I'm looking for and what have you. And thanks for watching. Next segment. Okay, I have the hood latch in place, and I'm not going to mess with the vacuum stuff right now, or the environmental the vent canister thing, but I do need to, you might ask what's next. I do need to work on that oil fill, and want to drain the water out of it and fill it with coolant. So I got to take the lower radiator hose loose and then drain it and then refill it with coolant. And we're getting closer and closer to worrying about stuff around here, like timing and any loose cables or electrical, anything I might have missed prior, and running it a few times, short duration, and want to make sure that this electrical system keeps working properly when it comes to the windows, because the power for the windows is also the power for the transmission. Otherwise she'll be in limp mode. If the windows don't work, she'll be in limp mode, and you won't have a speedo because you don't have an amplifier, and the amplifier box is under here. In later versions of the 4L60E, they changed the sensor and put the amplifier in the sensor, so you need power to the sensor for that. In the earlier versions, it was just a pickup coil that goes to this amplifier that's in the vehicle. And if you don't have a spare amplifier, that's a problem. So, but they only did that for a couple years, I think from 93 to 95 or 93 to 96. So you need to know the evolution of the machine to be able to keep it going. And I don't know if this detox stuff helped or not, but I definitely need to clean up some of this and flex paste the hell out of it and keep it from leaking. The original problem that I started working on this thing several years ago was seeking it idle. And I've replaced so many parts, just about everything on the engine, every sensor, including the computer, including the entire fuel system, from the fuel pump, including the CPI, the spider, these lines, the regulator. I've replaced everything. The oil pressure sending unit been replaced. Coolant sending unit been replaced. It would be nice if the oil pressure was steadier. I have other sending units I can try. I need to get another mechanical gauge. And this is where you connect to the vacuum. And this is your oil pressure sender. And mainly right now I'm checking for leaks. But the main thing I was after with this whole shebang is a smooth idle. I want a smooth idle. I don't like it killing out at an intersection when I'm towing something. Watching to see the temperature. It ought to come up to the first mark there. Not to 210, but like halfway between 100 and 210. That's where the thermostat should open. Awful lot of vibration. Alright, it's 5:26 in the afternoon on the 30th of September 2024, and I'm not quite sure, why don't they just give me date and time somewhere on this stupid device? Anyway, I did find a leak, and you wouldn't believe where. Right here, this plastic clamp that they had on here was leaking, so I put on a good old fashioned good clamp that I can get as tight as I want, not this stupid plastic thing that anyway, that's where it was leaking. That was my coolant loss to the recovery bottle. So I still have to drain this and fill it up with coolant. I just got water in there now, but this is a documentary, so that's what I did next segment. Okay, this is the setup for timing. Got the timing light connected to the battery, positive and negative. and I got the wire slipped through into the engine compartment to connect to number 1. Man, it's been one interruption after another, and I got a long story to tell about DNA motoring on Amazon, but later. I'm not going to try to tell that now. It's too confusing, and I got to see how it turns out. But I'm trying to set the timing on a 1994 Astro van, and I got the timing light hooked up, and I know it's got late timing, so we got to go clockwise some more with it. I may have to pull the distributor and go one more tooth, but the way you disable the computer to set the baseline timing is this connector right here. It's got to come apart. It's a single wire. You pull that apart, and that releases the computer from control, and you can set the timing, what they call the baseline timing, which is timing without the computer. And of course there's always a learning process in the computer, and it's above my pay grade to know how that works. But anyway, next segment. Automotive and Astro van enthusiasts, you see I've disconnected the single wire connector that controls the computer. Next segment. Okay, I'm gonna start the engine with the wire disconnected to set the base timing, and I'm gonna do this in baby steps. I'm gonna start it, look at the light to take a reading, and then go clockwise with the distributor and see how much it changes every time I turn the engine on and off. And I'll try to show you what I see, but it's real tight in there. I may not be able to see the mark, and I have it painted with fluorescent paint on the mark. Okay, I'm surprised it's running with the wire disconnected, but I'll take it. I'll put the light on it, and I got just enough room here to look. Take a look, see, maybe see it. I don't know if you can see that or not. And there's too much light here to really see it good. Okay, there's the mark. Oh man, it's right on the money. I don't have to change a thing. It's bang on. I'm not going to change anything. I've checked it. It's good. Okay, so what's next? What's next is I'm going to let the coolant, all the water out of the radiator. I'm going to disconnect the timing light, because now if it was too advanced it would overheat, and if it was too retarded you would have inefficient. It wouldn't have enough power. And more advanced gives you more power, but also generates pre-ignition and knock and ping, and so either one's not good. It's got to be at the sweet spot, like Goldilocks and the porridge and the Three Bears. I still have a lot to do here before I can drive this on the street and take it for a test drive. But I am getting closer and closer. So next thing to do is take out the water and put in actual coolant. And then I still have a bolt here on the exhaust side that I need to clean out on number 3, because that rod, well, let me show you. Okay, this rod here on the back side of number 3, cylinder number 3, takes a stud. Well, I don't have a stud, so that's why I want to get a stud, and have a lot of other things to do, but I'm not going to cover them all right now. I'm taking this in baby steps, just one thing at a time, and it keeps getting better and better as I get closer to the objective of getting this where it can pull my avocados to the packing house. Okay, it's right around sunset. I've had enough fun in southeast Florida for one day. Boy, I wish I could go to the beach or go to scuba diving, but tomorrow's another day, and I got the coolant drained out of there. Tomorrow morning I'll reattach the lower radiator hose back and fill it full of regular Prestone. I buy the premix. I like Prestone a lot. And everybody ought to change their cooling system coolant every 3 years or it turns corrosive. More often if you can stand it. Probably once a year is good. And Prestone's supposed to last a lot longer, but I don't trust any product that long, especially for a cooling system that protects my engine from turning into burnt toast. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked anything. Dennis Seitzma, Dennis John Seitzma Productions. This is a documentary, not a how-to. You can get hurt doing do-it-yourself work. Do it at your own risk. Death or injury can result from do-it-yourself work, and I'm not an advocate of do-it-yourself work. I just do my own work because I like my own work better. Thanks for watching.